Tonight, the National Security Minister expresses concern about mounting tensions and violence in the Georgeville community and says action will be taken. Women to come out in numbers to march against gender-based violence, and pressure is being brought to bear on the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution about seemingly cold cases. The details of these stories and more are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Thursday, the 19th of September, 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We're on Flow, channel 117. We're also being simulcast on Kiss FM. You can watch on our website, www.caribbeanhottv.com, or on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. Minister for National Security, Senator Herman Gill Francis, says he is concerned about growing tensions in the community of Georgeville following the killing of 17-year-old Akim Antoine on Saturday, the 14th of September, and a shooting on Tuesday, the 18th of September in the same community. The minister says current criminal activities have warranted a ramping up of efforts on the part of the police.
Yes, I'm very, very concerned. And again, not only the Georgeville, but the incident in Mikud, where you have an innocent man in a shop enjoying himself and somebody comes and takes his life away. These things are very, very disheartening, and I'm very concerned about those incidents. But again, if you look at the Georgeville incident, one incident happened and a number of incidents has followed, and we can try and make the connection.
So what measures are going to be put in place for these hotbed areas?
Again, the police have spoken to me, and they are going to be beefing up the patrols. So like I said, we have 40 new SRPs going to be there, and during the day they're going to be there, and the CID and other departments are going to do something different.
Anyone with information regarding the shootings in Georgeville is asked to contact the nearest police station or the crime hotline at 45-CRIME, that is 452-7463. Violence against women is the topic being focused on this coming weekend with a women's walk organized by the Soufriere Youth and Sports Council in collaboration with the Guardians Club and Siobhan Matthew, a cop who cares. Matthew has been on a promotion campaign to highlight the importance of the matter and speaks to Rochelle Gonzalez about the upcoming event.
The Cop Who Cares, Siobhan Matthew, in collaboration with the Soufriere Youth and Sports and the Guardians Club, is gearing up for a women's walk against violence over the weekend. The main intentions behind the walk is to raise awareness of violence in the Soufriere community, mainly against women, and to teach some life-saving tips on how to handle possibly dangerous situations. Matthew said the walk was inspired by a crime which occurred in his neck of the woods.
This whole thing started where after a young lady was attacked in the town of Soufriere, and myself, along with the Soufriere Youth and Sports Council and the Guardians Club, which was formed after this young lady got hurt, decided to have this activity in the town where we will raise the awareness on violence in the community, especially violence against women. The day will begin with a public lecture at the St. Isidore's Hall from 3 p.m. Basically, we'll be dealing with personal safety tips against day trip drugs, safety tips when riding the bus, safety tips around your home. From there, we'll be having a walk from the Soufriere Square down to the Soufriere Beach Park with placards depicting slogans about violence. And at the beach park, we'll be having a soca-size activity.
Attendees are asked to wear gym attire with a hint of something pink. Matthew said he will also provide a handout to all attendees that will be beneficial to them all.
Persons in attendance at this activity will receive a free copy of my handbook on personal safety tips, and also there will be refreshments. Refreshments will be given out. So we're asking everybody in Soufriere and the community around the communities around Soufriere just to come out in large numbers just to support this activity, and let's raise the awareness. Fighting crime is everyone's business, and we all have to get involved.
The walk will be held on Sunday, the 22nd of September. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Answers are being demanded about high-profile cases handed over to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. Ahead of Thursday's Senate meeting, the Minister for National Security was questioned about the status of these cases and the efficiency of the DPP's office. Francis says the office is inundated with cases. Solange Alfred reports.
A crime is perpetrated. The public is informed. The case is investigated. It is passed on to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, and then it seemingly fades into obscurity. Activists and concerned citizens say this has been the case with the Kimberly De Leon case, a mother of two viciously slain in her home by an unknown assailant, and also the salacious case involving Dr. Ubaldus Raymond. Months after these crimes have occurred, the public is advocating for updates on the matter. Minister for National Security Herman Gill Francis says the time is not allotted to the DPP to discuss high-profile cases under active investigation.
I think the DPP is a very, very busy individual. As you said, rightly said, he has a number of high-profile cases. And I think sometimes we decide that maybe he doesn't have the time to sit with you and discuss while he would have been investigating and seeing how best he can handle the matters. So I need you need to speak to the DPP and get his views on it.
The question was then posed in regards to the tenure of the DPP. The much talked about workload left under the purview of the DPP, Deshaun Green. Will he be able to accomplish a fraction of the work with only a short time left in office?
No, the DPP is on contract, yes, but at the end of the day, it's the Legal and Judicial Commission that deals with that. So if the DPP wants a renewal, he speaks to the Chief Justice. The Minister doesn't have anything ready to do with that.
But his contract is almost at the end, so are you satisfied?
I'm not too sure. But I'm satisfied. Yes, I'm satisfied that the DPP is working extremely hard. Like you said, it has a number of cases. We have a backlog of cases. When we came in, there were over 2,000 cases backlogged. Right now we have about 682. So a lot of things are happening. The government is going to be employing another 2 new judges. The DPP's office is going to be beefed up so that we can break down those backlog of cases that we have.
Additionally, the Minister for National Security says the implementation of a parole system will assist in the reduction of the backlog of cases.
We also have now a parole system, something that has never happened before in St. Lucia. Okay, the parole board is in place, and there are going to be now hearings for persons who have served a sentence of at least 15 or more years in prison so that they can be paroled. A lot of things are happening, okay, and the DPP has to be central in most of these things. So you have to understand and give and take with the work that he has.
Deshaun Green was reappointed DPP in October 2016, tasked with handling the backlog of criminal cases and bringing closure to the impacts investigation. As of September 2019, the office of the DPP is said to still have a backlog of criminal cases and still no resolve in the long overdue impacts impasse. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Thank you, Solange. The ethics of Castries Southeast MP Guy Joseph is once again coming into question, this time by opposition senator for the St. Lucia Labour Party, Joachim Henry. Henry expressed his disappointment in the minister over the fact that the L'Abbé Childhood Center has not received the assistance needed to allow the facility to conduct its duties efficiently. Furthermore, Henry revealed that a newly established center has been operational in Sarot, even though it is not registered with the Early Childhood Department. The senator said he was informed that the new center was established by none other than the MP himself.
It has been said that that center was established by the PAL rep. Guy himself established it and retrofitted the center, and that there are children and persons operating. But the Early Childhood Center, like in my discussion with Ms. Prince this morning, said that they're not aware, they have not registered anymore. In fact, there was an undertaking given by the Ministry of Education that they stop registering any newly established Early Childhood Center. My concern is really for the children of Sarot and the parents who need this service. Ms. Janice operated a center for the past 16 to 20 years, and that center has come to a close. In fact, the location that is currently housing the Early Childhood Center in Sarot, she was there for 3 months and had to move on to somewhere else. She wasn't able to get somewhere else, and after 16 to 20 years, she had to close down and is currently looking for somewhere else to operate.
Henry is demanding answers and says if this is indeed the case, then the MP has crossed the line, since the government has stipulated policies which would ensure that in establishing early childhood centers, it would not disadvantage people in the communities who are providing such services.
Clearly, Guy Joseph on his own has violated the principles of government. I am concerned about the resources of parliamentarians in a community, and that I am not too sure whether the court in Sarot with the early childhood center is that of Guy Joseph or whether it's a public building, because if the government is not aware of what's happening, but I'm being told that he's investing his own resources in retrofitting, putting toilets for an early childhood center, one need to ask, what is the role of government and what is the role of a parliamentarian? I've heard in parliamentarian speaking, and maybe they do not mean exactly what is being said, that allocation must be made for a parliamentarian. I think that needs to be taken correctly. Resources need to be allocated for constituencies, not for parliamentarians.
Henry said this situation is not fair to the people of Sarot, the administrators of the center, and especially the children of the community. He called on the government to investigate the matter. Chairman of the cannabis movement, Andre de Caries, has had a bit of a whirlwind with the government's efforts to review the regulatory framework for cannabis. First, he was on the government-appointed commission, then he was taken off. Now he's back on the new cannabis commission. He is cautiously optimistic about an upcoming meeting, but he says conservative attitudes to cannabis and politicians playing to their base will make the move for decriminalization a tough battle. Debates and 3 commissions later, are we any closer to the decriminalization of cannabis? The opinions are mixed, even for member of the Cannabis Commission, Andre de Caries, who says politicians are stalling and treading carefully because they are concerned about how their party base will react to the move. He says the position of reviewing the regulatory framework for cannabis, which could allow the plant to no longer be classified as an illicit substance, is being influenced by many things.
I think because we have a lot of conservative and religious people in the cabinet, and I also think it's a political consideration to make a move like this, and you'd find that the religious community and the older people vote more than the young people. So I think it may be a calculated decision by the politicians who want to hold their seats, and they may fear that if they do it, they may lose votes. I think this is one of the reasons for the stalling. They're not quite sure of the impact it would have at the polls.
The inaugural meeting of the new Cannabis Regulatory Commission was held on the 6th of September. The commission will meet again on Friday, the 20th of September, to chart the way forward for the decriminalization of cannabis. De Caries is cautiously optimistic about the work ahead.
Mr. Michael Gordon, again, is the chairman, and at the inception of the meeting, he told all the people there, this is not an organization that is debating whether we will legalize. He said, I want to let everybody know we are going to legalize. It's just the mechanisms that we're going to use, the regulations that we're going to develop. So this is what it's there for. I think everybody was on board, and I'm optimistic that we will come up with an excellent model.
It has been a long road to decriminalization for activists like De Caries.
We've been having incremental successes for the last 22 years, so I'm kind of numb. Any big success really doesn't affect me much. I think I will celebrate when I actually see poor people making money and we could actually lift a certain section of society out of poverty. I think this would solve a lot of our social problems and many other problems.
Many members of the current administration have stated that it's not an issue of whether to decriminalize cannabis, but more so how to go about it in a way that aids the economy with as little negative social impacts as possible. You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. When we return, Timothy Mangal denies rumors that he's eyeing the seat of one of his UWP colleagues. The opposition questions the almost $1 million allocation to the Zooks. and tourism officials are looking to capitalize on Journée Creole celebrations. That and more when we return.